Your phone is literally a slot machine. Here's how tech hijacks your brain. Your phone isn't a tool, it's a slot machine running live psychological experiments on you. If you've ever said one more scroll, that wasn't weak willpower. That was design exploiting your reward circuits and social wiring. The thing most people miss: engagement isn't entertainment, it's control. In the next few minutes, I'll map exactly how platforms turn your attention into profit, reveal 5 core tactics they use, and give you 3 counter tactics you can deploy today. Doom scrolling, fractured focus, rising anxiety, and lost time on accidents. I'll show you the trap, where it came from, and how to get your attention back, starting now. Map of the trap: how platforms turn brains into profit. Start with the business model. Platforms don't sell apps, they sell predictions of your future behavior. Attention becomes data, data trains models. Models predict what you'll click, share, watch, buy, or believe, and those predictions get sold to advertisers and pushed back into your feed. Tighter prediction equals more influence equals more revenue. That's the loop. Here's where most people get it wrong. Engagement sounds like you enjoyed it. In practice, engagement is a proxy for behavioral control. If I can keep you scrolling, delay your exit, raise arousal, and steer your next action, I've captured control. The metric hides the mechanism. This isn't old-school advertising, it's predictive behavior modeling. Instead of blasting a generic ad, the system learns your personal triggers. What time you're tired, which topics spike your dopamine, which faces or conflicts make you pause, and it rearranges your environment to exploit that. You're not browsing a neutral feed, the feed adapts to you in real time. Watch the feedback loop. You hover for 2 seconds, rewatch, or micro-like. That micro-reaction is a training signal. The algorithm tweaks what it shows next, inching toward whatever kept you a hair longer. Your behavior shapes the feed shapes your behavior. Multiply that millions of times per day and you've built a closed-loop attention machine. Why does this work? Because your brain prioritizes immediate rewards and social status signals. Novelty spikes dopamine. Social cues, likes, replies, read receipts, streaks, light up reward pathways and belonging circuitry. Established neuroscience shows the mesolimbic system drives wanting more than liking, so you can crave the next hit while enjoying it less. That's why sessions feel good during and hollow right after. Translate that to daily life. You wake up, tap notifications, and you're greeted with what you missed. Urgency on cue, then a mix, a joke, a mild outrage, a friend's highlight. Unpredictable rewards keep you hoping the next one will land. Each pause trains the system. 10 minutes disappear. You didn't choose 10 minutes, the loop chose for you. It's not just dopamine. Social comparison tightens the grip. Public counts, trending tags, blue checks, status markers. When your post pops, you check back more. When it flops, you still check because uncertainty is sticky. The brain prefers resolution over not knowing. Platforms lean hard on that tension. Now incentives. Time on device and average revenue per user reward designs that maximize minutes, not meaning. Remove a little friction, autoplay here, infinite scroll there, and dwell time jumps. Internally, that's a win. The hidden cost is regret. More time spent doesn't mean better time spent. It means the loop tightened. Small signals compound. A 2-second linger seems trivial, but at scale, trillions of micro-signals let models find edge patterns. You share more when slightly annoyed than when happy. You watch faster when anxious. You buy after 3 micro-loses followed by 1 small win. Optimization nudges you into those states and timing windows, not by conspiracy, by math. Here's the shortcut to spotting it: follow the friction. Features that reduce friction to consume, autoplay, pull to refresh, swipe to next, increase the probability you'll stay. Features that increase friction to leave, are you sure prompts, delayed buttons, streak losses, keep you invested. If a feature removes a natural pause, like the end of a page, it's closing your exit ramp. So what? I'll just use it less. The problem is state-dependent control. In reward-seeking mode, you overvalue immediate stimuli and undervalue long-term goals. That's not a character flaw, that's how valuation shifts under dopamine drive. The interface meets you in that state and keeps you there. Willpower is the slowest tool in a high-speed environment. This clicked for me when I saw the lineage. Behaviorism in the 193's, 194's mapped reinforcement. Casinos turned it into variable ratio slot machines. Smartphones put a personalized Skinner box in your pocket. Your thumb is the lever. Variable social rewards are the pellets. The schedule is unpredictable and portable. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Engagement equals influence, and influence at scale equals profit. When success is measured by time captured, systems evolve to capture time. Every tactic we'll cover is a component of that machine. Now that you see the loop and incentives, the patterns become obvious and optional. Next, we'll open the slot machine hidden in every feed, variable reward schedules, and why maybe the next one is the most expensive thought on your phone. Tactic 1: Variable reward schedules, the slot machine in your pocket. Here's why the scroll feels so sticky. Unpredictable rewards create the strongest habit loops. In operant conditioning, variable ratio schedules keep behavior going because you don't know which pull pays. That uncertainty spikes dopamine more than predictable wins. Your phone turns that schedule into a never-ending loop. Sometimes you get a hilarious clip, sometimes a juicy DM, sometimes nothing. The not knowing is the hook. What does that look like in the wild? Intermittent likes, surprise follows, a For You feed that slips a jackpot video between 5 duds, loot box mechanics in games and e-commerce, mystery bundles, spin to win, surprise drops. Every once in a while you hit something that lands just right, your brain encodes maybe the next one. That prediction error, expectation versus outcome, becomes gasoline. Now the interface makes the schedule effortless. Infinite scroll removes the stopping point where you decide to leave. Pull to refresh mimics a slot machine handle, a small physical ritual that invites the hope of a better outcome. Autoplay erases the moment you choose. Even the subtle bounce and refresh haptic is a mini reward. Your body learns the cadence of the pull and release. Here's the thing most people miss. You think you're choosing to continue. The schedule is choosing for you. Each micro-win reinforces the thumb movement. You start chasing streaks of small highs, even when the average experience is mediocre. This is why sessions run longer at night when you're tired. Lower cognitive control plus uncertainty equals more lever presses. Let me translate this to daily life. You're in line for coffee. You tap open, swipe, and boom, one perfect meme. That's the jackpot, then 3 lukewarm posts, then a notification flutter, 3 new likes. That intermittent reinforcement nudges you to check again before you even pay. By lunch, you've repeated this loop a dozen times, not because anything was urgent, but because the schedule rewarded the check often enough to wire it in. Why does variable work better than fixed? Predictable rewards teach your brain when to stop. Unpredictable rewards keep your prediction circuits spinning. Dopamine surges during anticipation, not just the reward, so your mind leans forward into the next unknown. That leaning is craving. Over time, you can want more while liking less. Now, common mistakes when fighting this. First, relying on willpower. In the moment, willpower is outgunned by a design tuned to milliseconds. Second, keeping just a few high salience notifications. That concentrates variability into the strongest cues. Third, promising yourself 1 more minute inside an infinite environment. With no natural endings, 1 more has no boundary. So how do you break the spell? You don't fight a variable schedule with try harder. You change the schedule. Step 1, collapse randomness. Batch notifications so they arrive at set times instead of random pings. That turns dozens of micro-uncertainties into one predictable check-in. Step 2, add friction at the trigger. Move high-stim apps off your home screen, remove badges, and require Face ID or a passcode to open them. A 2-second pause is often enough to wake up intention. Step 3, kill autoplay and remove pull to refresh wherever possible. Route your worst offenders through the web version. Most web UIs strip the haptics and glossy loops. Step 4. Grayscale after a set hour. Color amplifies reward salience, gray lowers it. At night, when control is lowest, let the phone feel boring by design. Here's a micro story. A client was losing 2 hours nightly to the doom loop. We made 2 changes, disabled autoplay across platforms and rerouted short-form video through desktop only. They paired that with batch notifications at noon and 6 p.m. in the first week. Usage dropped 35% without a single quitting promise. They didn't get superhuman, the jackpots got rarer. Let me show you the closure side. Variable schedules pair perfectly with missing stopping cues. Reintroduce endings. Watch long form on a TV where episodes end. Use playlists you curate, not the endless feed. If you're set on short bursts, set a physical timer for 10 minutes, then close the app from its home screen, not mid-clip. Ending on a clean screen prevents the Zygarnic itch of unfinished content. A quick win you can do today. Set messaging and social apps to deliver notifications only at 2 times. Turn off badges, disable autoplay everywhere, and flip your phone to grayscale after 8 p.m. That's 5 minutes of settings. Expect an itch at first. That itch isn't failure, it's your reward system recalibrating. Another overlooked move, rename your sandbox. Create a folder titled, "Do I really want this?" and park all variable reward apps inside. That one question interrupts the reflex and pushes the next action into conscious choice. You're not banning fun, you're choosing the schedule. Now you might be thinking, what about staying informed? Information isn't the problem, drip delivery is. Subscribe to one daily newsletter or check one curated source at a fixed time. The goal is predictable windows, not constant sampling. Predictability tames craving. Why this works, you're shifting from variable ratio reinforcement, most addictive, toward fixed interval or fixed ratio patterns your brain can anticipate. Anticipation without surprise lowers dopamine spikes, which lowers compulsive checking. Over days, baseline enjoyment rises, and the gap between wanting and liking shrinks. If you remember nothing else from this tactic, remember this: randomness is the product. When outcomes are uncertain, your attention pays the house edge. Make rewards predictable, raise friction at the gate, and bring back stopping cues. Once the slot machine loses its shine, comparison and status start to look like the real drivers. So next, we'll talk about social proof, status loops, and how FOMO keeps you checking. Tactic 2, social proof, status loops, and FOMO. Rewards hook you in, comparison keeps you circling. Belonging and rank are primal, your brain treats reputation like survival. So when platforms surface public metrics and social timers, they're not just informing you, they're training you. Likes, views, reshares, follow accounts, those are scoreboard numbers. Blue checks, trending tags, top 1% this week, status badges. Streaks and read receipts add deadlines to relationships. Together, they build a loop that's hard to put down. Here's the thing most people miss: envy beats joy for attention. Upward social comparison, seeing someone just ahead of you, pulls stronger than a peer's average day. You don't need full-blown jealousy. Micro comparisons work: a coworker's promotion post, a creator's milestone, a friend's vacation reel. Your mind runs a quiet ranking. Where do I stand? That question opens the app again. Now layer scarcity. 24-hour stories, expiring drops, only 2 left, offer ends in 3 minutes. Loss aversion means you'll work harder to avoid missing out than to gain the same thing later. Add a countdown and urgency becomes embodied. You're not choosing, the timer is choosing for you. That's why you can feel restless if you don't check in before a story vanishes. It's engineered FOMO. Let me show you the habit trap. You post, you wait, you check once, small high, you check again, nothing, slight sting. That variability tightens the behavior. While waiting, you scroll other wins to soothe uncertainty, which boosts comparison and spikes arousal. Now you post again to rebalance. That's the status loop: post, check, compare, repeat. It's operant conditioning wrapped in social clothing. The platform learns from you too. When you optimize for what gets numbers, hot takes, outrage, thirst traps, humble brags, you teach the algorithm to feed you more of the same. It's a two-way mirror. You adjust to the metric, and the metric adjusts to you. Over time, identity drifts toward what performs, not what aligns. That drift is subtle until you feel oddly anxious when a post underperforms. Common mistakes make it worse. 1. Chasing metrics for feedback. Metrics are a distorted map. Ranking systems overweight novelty, conflict, and recency. 2. Keeping red receipts for accountability. That creates obligation ping-pong. You're tethered to other people's clocks. 3. Following high-envy accounts for inspiration. For many, that's fuel for compulsive checking and a lower mood baseline. So what actually works? Remove social timers and hide the scoreboard where you can. Most major platforms let you hide like counts on your posts and your feed. Use it. Turn off read receipts and active now indicators. Kill streak prompts. Mute suggested for you carousels if possible. You're not going antisocial, you're de-gamifying. 5-minute audit you can run today. Ask, which cues make me check compulsively? Likely culprits, unread badges, typing bubbles, seen labels, streak icons, pinned follow accounts. Strip those first, then curate your inputs. Mute accounts that reliably trigger envy spikes or outrage spirals. Replace them with process-forward creators who share how they work, not just polished highlights. Your emotional state is a feed, curate it too. Let me give you a micro story. A client kept losing mornings to status loops, post at 8:30, refresh until 10:00. We removed raid receipts, hid like counts, and set a simple rule: no posting before noon. Analytics only at 4:30 on Tuesdays and Fridays. In 10 days, morning checks dropped 60% and mood steadied before lunch. Same job, fewer social timers. You might be thinking, but I need metrics to grow. True, at the right altitude. Review patterns weekly, not hourly. Ask, which topics created meaningful replies from the people I want to serve? Where did viewers drop for clarity reasons, not shock value? Decide one experiment for the next cycle. That's learning, not chasing. Here's the shortcut nobody teaches. Add intention gates to social. Move apps into a folder labeled intentional social. When you open it, ask, connect or compare. If the answers compare, close it. Also, schedule social windows, 2 or 3 per day, and fully close apps between them. End each window with a closure ritual. Reply, schedule, archive, unsubscribe. Leaving on a home screen reduces the Zygarnic itch that fuels one more peak. For messaging, design boundaries that don't break relationships. Turn off read receipts. Set status lines like replying after 1 p.m., whitelist true emergencies, and let everything else fit your cadence. You're not ignoring people. You're removing invisible deadlines from everyday conversation. Why this works: relatedness needs depth, not displays. A 10-minute voice note with a friend outperforms 10 streaks for well-being. Small group chats, calls, plans, these satisfy the social brain without stoking the scoreboard. When you mute timers and hide public counts, the urge to refresh shrinks because uncertainty shrinks. Quick wins to try: hide like counts globally, disable read receipts, mute active now, and set 2 messaging windows. Move social apps off your home screen. Replace one daily scroll with a deliberate reach out. Voice note, invite, or thank you. That swap upgrades status loops into actual connection. If you remember nothing else, remember this: social proof should be a compass, not a ruler. Use it to find people and ideas, not to measure your worth. When the app hands you a countdown, decline the deadline. With comparison quieter, the next tug you'll notice is unfinished threads, and that open loop tension is the next trap we'll close. Tactic 3: Zygarnic effect and open loops. Now we hit the tension engine. Your brain hates incompletion. When a task starts but doesn't finish, it creates a mental itch, cognitive tension that keeps it active in working memory. That's the Zygarnic effect in plain terms. It was first described in 1927 by psychologist Bloomer Zygarnic after noticing waiters remembered unpaid orders but forgot them once paid. The core insight: unfinished equals unforgettable, at least for a while. Online, that tension gets industrialized. Half reveals and cliffhangers. Part 1 ends right before payoff. Read more truncates the point behind a tap. Notifications dangle quests. 3 new comments. You were mentioned. Someone replied. Watch next chains promise resolution in the next clip, then the next. Even typing bubbles create social suspense. You saw the dots, now you need to know what they wrote. The loop feeds on curiosity without closure. Here's the thing most people miss. One quick check doesn't reduce the tension, it resets it. Every partial glance starts the loop again. You close the app carrying more open threads than you had going in. That's why quick checks feel mentally noisy. You multiplied unfinished business instead of finishing anything. It's not that you're distractible, you're carrying cognitive tabs the interface keeps opening. Why does this work so reliably? Because open loops hijack prioritization. Your brain ranks unfinished goals as urgent even when they're trivial. A spoiler tease, an unresolved debate, a coming soon preview. These leapfrog your actual priorities because incompletion rings louder than importance. The app doesn't need to be fascinating, it only needs to be unresolved. That's enough to steal a slice of your working memory. Let me show you exactly how creators lean into this. In short form, micro-conflict every few seconds. Pose a question, cut away before answering, seed a contradiction, promise the secret at the end. In feeds, withhold the key detail behind a comment or tap. Step 4 is the game changer, buried behind engagement. In messaging, stagger responses to keep the thread alive. Across formats, the same goal. Prolong tension, delay closure, keep you cycling. Now here's where most people mess up their defense. They try to finish everything before logging off. That closer mindset is the trap. Feeds are bottomless. Social threads are asynchronous. New notifications arrive faster than you can clear them. The harder you chase zero, the more loops you open. You can't outsprint an infinite conveyor belt. The shortcut nobody teaches is intentional closure. End every session with 3 moves. Declare done, capture next, close context. Declare done. Literally say, I'm done for now, and exit from the app's home screen, not mid-thread or mid-clip. Capture next. Write the one unresolved item you actually care about in your system, notes, calendar, or task list, with a concrete next step. Close context. Switch to a neutral screen, home or lock. Then do a palette cleanser. Stand, stretch, sip water. You're teaching your brain that loops don't close inside the app. They close when you decide. Let me give you an example you can try today. Schedule 2 inbox processing blocks, say 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. for DMs, comments, and email. Outside those windows, turn off badges and previews. During the block, triage into 4 buckets. Reply now, schedule later, archive, unsubscribe, mute. Anything over 2 minutes gets scheduled, not half done. When the block ends, run the closure ritual. You'll notice your mind feels quieter in the gaps because it trusts that real closure is coming at a set time. Common mistakes to avoid: leaving apps on a cliffhanger screen, half-composed reply, paused reel, which guarantees itch, swiping away notifications without addressing or scheduling them, which keeps the alarm active in memory, mixing entertainment and tasks in one session, which blends professional and social loops into one knot, and checking for peace of mind, which usually multiplies open threads. A quick micro story. A client felt mentally full by mid-afternoon daily. We added 2 20-minute processing windows and enforced exit from home screen. Within a week, they reported fewer phantom checks and easier re-entry into deep work. They didn't quit apps, they quit incomplete usage. Let me show you a fast diagnostic. After a 15-minute scroll, ask, can I list 3 finished items? If you can't, you are loop grazing. Loop grazing builds tension without payoff. Replace it with deliberate sessions that end on a completed step, finished message, saved note, scheduled next action. You might be thinking, won't I miss something urgent? Emergencies are rare. Urgency is often manufactured by design. Whitelist true emergencies, specific people or channels to break through. Everything else fits your cadence. That boundary shrinks artificial tension and lets real priorities stand out. One more technique, the end-of-day loop list. 3 columns, open, parked, closed. Open, the few incomplete items that truly matter tomorrow. Parked, items captured with a date and next step. Closed, loops finished today. Seeing a growing, closed column gives your brain visible closure, which improves evening calm and often sleep. The reason this works is simple. Attention follows tension. Reduce artificial tension and your attention returns to chosen work. Increase real closure and you feel lighter faster. It's not about perfection, it's about lowering background noise so you can direct focus on purpose. If you remember nothing else from this tactic, remember this line: leave on your terms. End sessions deliberately, capture what matters in your world and close the app at a natural end point. Once you tame open loops, the novelty drip loses leverage, and that's the next layer we'll reshape. Tactic 4, Novelty Dopamine Drip and the Attention Diet. Let's tackle why novelty grabs you even when you're not enjoying yourself. Your brain flags new as potentially important. When the outcome is uncertain, dopamine rises during anticipation. That prediction error, the gap between what you expect and what you get, teaches your brain to keep sampling. Feeds exploit this with rapid context shifts. Jokes, outrage, tips, drama, wins, fails, micro surprises every few seconds that keep your prediction circuits buzzing. The thing most people miss: dopamine fuels wanting more than liking. You can crave the next clip even as your satisfaction drops. After enough spikes, your baseline can dip for a while, pleasure down, craving up. That's the good during, hollow after pattern. You close the app and life feels a bit flatter, so you reach for another hit. It's not moral failing, it's the system teaching you to anticipate. Now let me decode the craft you can spot. Short-form timing hits you with micro-rewards every 3-8 seconds, jump cuts, on-screen text that resolves with a beat drop, quick zooms, sound stingers. The content matters less than the surprise rhythm. Personalization tightens the loop. The system tracks pauses, rewatches, and shares, then narrows toward hyperstimuli you rarely resist, specific voices, aesthetics, emotions. Over time, the diet gets spicier and narrower. You're not browsing, you're being tuned. Here's where most people mess up their fix. They try a total detox, create a novelty vacuum, and snap back hard. Novelty isn't bad, it's a nutrient for learning and motivation. The move isn't zero novelty, it's dose, timing, and source. Think food. Ultra-processed snacks hit bliss points and leave you hungrier. Ultra-processed content does the same. The goal is a sane ratio, not monk mode. So build an attention diet. Anchor your day with one 90-minute deep block, no notifications, one task, clear outcome. That's your protein. Schedule 2 novelty windows, 10-15 minutes each for intentional sampling, curated playlist, a newsletter skim, a saved highlight reel. That's dessert. Then add slow carbs, a daily walk without audio, a physical hobby, print reading with a timer. These restore baseline and raise boredom tolerance, which makes deep work less painful. Replace algorithmic spikes with self-chosen variety. If you crave quick hits, use skill micro-challenges. A 60-second sketch, a 10-rep language drill, a 4-bar music riff. You still get novelty, new patterns, and small wins without the feed training you. If you need variety during a single task, rotate modes inside the task. Outline, then draft, then edit. Novelty within focus keeps dopamine steady without splintering attention. A micro story to make this real. A developer I coached kept bouncing between tabs, short videos, and chat pings. We first removed everything. By day 3, Rebound City. The fix was replacement, a midday 15-minute curiosity walk, no phone, just noticing patterns, and a 10-minute late afternoon skill sprint on a guitar app. 2 weeks later, evening doom scrolling dropped by half and code reviews sped up. They didn't grit their teeth, they fed novelty on purpose. Common mistakes to avoid. Swapping one ultra-processed feed for another, shorts for reels, is the same candy. Leaving autoplay on just for one, that deletes your stopping cues. And stacking study with me streams as a productivity hack. Your brain still rides micro surprises and never settles. Also, blasting music with lyrics during deep work if language is your task. Lyrics hijack verbal bandwidth. Quick wins you can do today. 1. Kill autoplay everywhere. 2. Set the phone to grayscale after a set hour. Color amplifies reward salience, gray lowers it. 3. Move entertainment to a separate device or a common area screen. 4. Keep a novelty list in your notes with articles, albums, tutorials, and places to explore. When the urge hits, pick from your list, not the algorithm's feed. Let me show you the weekly rhythm that sticks. Pick a theme per week, call it fenced novelty. 1 week on color theory, 1 on negotiation, 1 on aviation safety. You still roam, but within a fence that protects focus. Collect inputs in a single place, then process them in a scheduled block. The fence gives variety coherence, which turns scattered curiosities into useful patterns. Breathing helps too. Start deep blocks with 60 seconds of nasal breathing, 4 in, 6 out. Longer exhales signal safety, which calms the scanning system that hunts for novelty. If restlessness spikes mid-block, do 3 rounds and continue. It's not a detour, it's maintenance for your attention engine. You might be thinking, isn't novelty essential for creativity? Yes, with constraints. Creativity loves varied inputs, but scattered novelty muddies signal to noise. Curate sources and batch exposure. Then step away. Many insights consolidate on walks and in the shower, not in the feed. That off time is when your brain recombines ideas without jitter. Why this works: when you control dose and timing, your dopamine system recalibrates. Baseline enjoyment creeps up, the wanting, liking gap narrows, and stillness becomes tolerable. You'll notice fewer twitch checks, smoother ramp into focus, and easier finishing. It starts subtle, less tab flipping, longer paragraphs, then compounds week to week. If you remember nothing else, remember this: your brain needs novelty, but it thrives on chosen novelty. Replace algorithmic spikes with scheduled, self-curated variety. Reduce autoplay and rapid context shifts. Add slow embodied inputs and fence your curiosity by theme. Do that for 7 days and the drip slows, so you can actually choose what gets your best attention. Tactic 5: self-image, mirrors, and identity loops. Here's the quiet trap almost no one names. The apps don't just capture your attention, they shape your identity, then use that identity to pull you back. Camera-first design, beauty filters, creator dashboards, and people like you feeds are mirrors that talk back. The more you stare, the more those mirrors train your self-image, and identity is sticky. Once who I am fuses with how I perform here, every check feels personal. Why this hits hard: self-focus amplifies anxiety. When the first thing you see on open is your own face, your brain shifts into self-evaluation mode before you've even decided why you're there. Filters don't just polish, they create a moving target for acceptable me. When your reflection comes with a scoreboard, likes, watch time, retention curves, you start editing yourself to win points. Now each refresh whispers, your worth is fluctuating in real time. That's not feedback, that's a mood thermostat wired to public metrics. Let me spell out the loop. You post, you peak. If numbers pop, micro-euphoria. If they sag, micro-sting. Either way, the next move is optimization. Tweak the hook, exaggerate the thumbnail face, trim nuance for punch. Over a few weeks, your taste shifts toward what performs fastest, not what aligns with your values. The algorithm notices and narrows your reflection. You win when you're louder, hotter, or angrier. That's an identity funnel disguised as analytics. Here's the thing most people miss: analytics aren't neutral. By design, dashboards overweight short-term signals, click-through, early retention, comment velocity. Those are useful for craft, but they privilege arousal-heavy content and novelty. If you check them hourly, they'll steer your sense of self toward volatility. Learning happens in patterns over weeks, not in today's dip at second 7. Now add filters. When filtered you becomes default to, your unfiltered face can start to feel wrong. That gap feeds self-consciousness on calls, in mirrors, and even in casual photos. For teens, this can crank baseline social anxiety. Adults aren't immune. The more polished the mirror, the harsher reality feels. That harshness sends you back to the mirror for relief. That's an identity loop. Let me show you how to break it without quitting your work or your social life. First, create distance with scheduled analytics. 2 windows per week, say Tuesday and Friday at 4:30 p.m., 15 minutes each. Outside those, hide dashboards or use a browser extension to block metric elements. If you must check sooner, put a price on peaking, 10 push-ups or a boring chore. Make checking slightly costly so the reflex weakens. Second, add no metric creation blocks. Daily, 1 session where you make something, write, record, design, with dashboards closed and comments off if possible. Ship and walk away for at least an hour. You're retraining the association from I am what the graph says to I am the person who does the work. Third, stabilize your on-camera variables. Fixed lighting, consistent framing, same lens, external mic. Consistency turns appearance from a stressor into a constant, which lowers self-scrutiny. If you use filters, do it intentionally and occasionally post unfiltered to reset both your reference point and your audience's. Fourth, write a 2-sentence creator charter. I make X for Y because Z my success metric is Q, keep Q behavior-based, publish cadence, thoughtful replies, emails collected, not public counts. Put that charter near your workspace. When a trend tempts you off course, read it aloud. You're not anti-growth, you're pro-alignment. Quick micro story. A designer hit 50k followers, then stalled and spiraled. Their mood rode the analytics. We limited checks to twice a week and instituted a daily no-metric block. In a month, stress eased, work quality rose, and growth resumed. Nothing mystical changed, the identity loop loosened. Common mistakes calling compulsive stat checks research. Hourly swings aren't insight. Treat analytics like instruments, not a heart monitor. Another mistake, following high-envy creators for motivation. If your mood dips after viewing, that's compulsion fuel. Curate process-forward peers who show the messy middle, not just the victory lap. And don't conflate verification with value. Blue badges signal platform status, not personal worth. Here's a 5-minute audit to run today. Hide like counts where the platform allows for your posts and your feed. Disable milestone push notifications. Turn off real-time follower counters. Move dashboards to desktop-only content creation to a separate profile or device. Put social apps behind a folder named Intentional Social. When you open it, ask, connect, create, or compare. Close on compare. Messaging can mirror the same trap. Read receipts and active now tie your identity to responsiveness. Turn them off. Set reply windows and add a status line. Heads down 9/11, replies after. Whitelist true emergencies. You're not less caring, you're removing social timers that make other people's clocks your identity trigger. Now a practice I wish more people used, identity inventory. List 3 identities you want tech to reinforce: mentor, builder, friend. Then map actions that match. Mentor equals 1 thoughtful reply, builder equals 90-minute deep block, friend equals voice note to 1 person daily. Schedule those before you scroll. Identity grows from repeated acts, not from metrics. Why this works: habits follow identity, identity follows narrative, and narrative follows what you measure. When you measure alignment and craft on a schedule you control, your self-image stabilizes. A stable self-image reduces compulsive checking, which frees time and mood for better work and richer connection. That's a flywheel you want. If you remember nothing else, remember this: metrics measure reach, not worth. Build mirrors that reflect your values back, not your anxieties. Treat dashboards like tools you consult, not judges you obey. When your identity stops riding the graph, you stop opening the app to check who you are. Origins, from Skinner boxes to casino floors to feeds. To see how we got here, we've got to roll back to a lab in the 1930s. Behaviorism wasn't about feelings, it was about consequences shaping actions. B.F. Skinner built the operant conditioning chamber, the Skinner box, to study how reinforcement schedules change behavior. Press a lever, get a pellet, sometimes predictably, sometimes not. The big insight came from variable ratio schedules. When rewards arrive unpredictably, pressing persists longer and is harder to extinguish. That's the backbone of habit strength. Variability plus ease equals persistence. By the 1940s and 1950s, the research matured into full-blown schedules of reinforcement. The point wasn't theory for theory's sake. It was a map of how organisms, rats, pigeons, humans, allocate behavior when outcomes shift. Critically, the data showed that uncertain payoffs don't just sustain actions, they amplify them. We lean forward into maybe. Casinos took that map and turned it into carpet, lights, and sound. Slot machines are variable ratio engines wrapped in sensory design. Every pull offers uncertainty, occasional small wins, meaningful near misses, and a fast path to the next round. Notice the choices: no natural stopping points, minimal friction to bet again, celebratory cues for tiny payouts. You're trained to keep pressing, not to walk away. The economics are simple: dwell time drives revenue. Then came the smartphone. The operant chamber got a glossy UI and followed us everywhere. Infinite scroll removed the end-of-page pause, no should I stop moment. Pull to refresh gave your thumb a ritual, like a slot handle. Autoplay slid you into the next round without a conscious choice. None of that requires malice, it's incentive compatible. When the metric you celebrate is session length and return rate, features that elongate sessions win. Now add personalization. Traditional ads blasted one message to many. Predictive systems rearrange your environment for you based on your micro signals. A pause here, a replay there, a share on a certain topic at a certain time. The feed adapts in real time to maximize the probability of the next action. Instead of one slot machine on the floor, you get a machine tuned to your exact levers. Here's the industry engine under the hood. Time on device and average revenue per user become North Star metrics. A/B tests run constantly. Tweak a button, shift a recommendation weight, alter the haptic at refresh. Whichever variant lifts minutes or conversions rolls out. Over months, the stack evolves toward designs that increase time captured, regardless of whether people feel worse afterward. If regret isn't on the dashboard, it won't drive decisions. Messaging learned from the same playbook. Raid receipts and typing bubbles add social suspense. Open loops you feel compelled to close. Streaks convert relationships into counters. Active now indicators create invisible deadlines. The Zygarnic tension that keeps unfinished tasks alive in memory now sits inside your chats. You're not just staying connected, you're staying compliant with timers. E-commerce and gaming imported casino logic. Loot boxes and mystery bundles sell uncertainty as a feature. Scarcity banners, only 2 left. Sale ends in 3 minutes, tap loss aversion. Progress bars hover just shy of completion to keep you chasing closure. Daily quests and login streaks pull you back, while randomized drops keep you pressing the lever. It's the same reinforcement science, skinned for shopping and play. The cultural story often says, it's just good UX. Good design can lower friction to help you do what you value, or lower friction to keep you in the loop. When revenue rises with minutes, the slope tilts toward stickiness by default. Without counter incentives, well-being measures, regret metrics, bounded experiences, the steady pressure is to remove exits and add uncertainty. Why does this lineage matter? Because it turns the fog into a map. We're not fighting a mysterious force. We're confronting predictable ingredients, variable rewards, missing stopping cues, scarcity timers, social proof, open loops, and identity mirrors. Casinos perfected some of them. Platforms networked and personalized them. The smartphone made them ambient. A quick micro story from a product sprint illustrates the bind. A team removed a confirmation step before autoplayed recommendations. Session time jumped, celebration. A small follow-up survey showed higher, wish I'd spent that time differently scores, concern. But the regret metric wasn't tied to bonuses, session time was. Which lever do you think got pulled? So when you encounter a feature, ask the ancestry questions. Does it reduce natural stopping points? Does it increase uncertainty around rewards or feedback? Does it attach timers to social actions? Does it convert identity into a score you'll want to check? If yes, you're looking at a cousin of the casino floor or the Skinner box. That doesn't make it evil, it makes it potent and deserving of friction. Once you see the through line, from 1930s reinforcement schedules to casino UX to personalized feeds, you stop blaming yourself and start adjusting your environment. You add exits where they've been removed, collapse randomness into predictable windows, mute social timers, and move creation away from dashboards. That's how you turn the lab back into a tool. And now that the origins are clear, we can make this practical in the apps you use daily, so you'll spot the levers in the wild and install defenses that actually hold. Case studies: how popular apps apply the playbook. Let's make this concrete. Short-form video first. The endless swipe is variable rewards in its purest form. Several near misses, then a jackpot clip that perfectly matches your soft spot. Every few seconds, edits and captions resolve tiny mysteries to keep prediction error high. Autoplay steals your decision point, and swipe to next erases the pause where you'd normally ask, "Do I want more?" Personalization learns what arrests your thumb: dogs, drama, DIY debate, then narrows the feed to the stimuli you least resist. Public view counts and stitches layer in status loops: post, refresh, compare, tweak, repeat. The ranking system favors rapid arousal, so conflict, novelty, and spectacle float to the top. Result: longer sessions and faster returns, even if satisfaction drops. Now messaging, raid receipts and typing bubbles manufacture social suspense, unfinished business by design. Scene turns a friendly exchange into a timer. Streaks convert relationships into counters you're afraid to break. Active now indicators set invisible deadlines that make waiting feel like failing. Group chats compound open loops, pings across time zones, replies at odd hours, unread counters that won't zero. You're not just staying connected, you're staying compliant with a schedule the app sets. Shift those same conversations to scheduled blocks or desktop only, and urgency collapses because the timers disappear. News feeds lean on outrage and open loops. Strong claims attract counters, which attract replies, which attract quote posts, conflict stacking on conflict. Trending now reframes importance as virality. Auto-expanding threads and video previews yank you from reading into watching without asking. The emotional effect is predictable: higher irritation and attention residue after exposure. Platforms don't need a conspiracy. The metric tilt toward dwell time rewards whatever keeps people arguing. E-commerce borrows casino tactics. Scarcity banners, only 2 left, cart holds for 8 minutes, convert browsing into a countdown. Progress bars hover just shy of free shipping to exploit completion bias. Mystery bundles and spin to win wheels sell uncertainty as entertainment, with lights and haptics punctuating tiny wins. Each nudge pulls you toward closure, not necessarily toward value. If you slow down, price compare tomorrow, save to a list, disable fast checkout. The urgency evaporates because scarcity without a timer is just inventory. Gaming brings it home. Daily login streaks are attendance counters disguised as rewards. Randomized drops and loot crates run true variable ratio schedules, interspersed with near-miss effects that feel personal. Seasonal battle passes create fixed windows that punish breaks with FOMO. Social tiers and ranked ladders are public status loops. You grind to avoid losing rank more than to gain fun. When players limit sessions to defined windows and turn off push notifications, the craving curve flattens because the loop can't ambush them. Email and productivity aren't immune. Smart recirculation modules push suggested for you threads, nudging you into infinite inbox. Desktop badges and mobile previews seed microloops all day. Collaborative docs tally live cursors and comment counts, social proof at work, while activity feeds whisper, "Catch up now." Move these tools into batch windows, disable badges, and hide previews. Suddenly, work feels like work again, not a perpetual alert. Let me show you how the defenses scale across categories. One-device entertainment is a powerful moat. Put shorts, streaming, and games on a TV or tablet in a shared space. Why it works: physical friction and natural endings. Separate creation from consumption. Make on desktop, measure in scheduled windows, consume on the fun device. That breaks identity loops and reduces reflex checks. Kill autoplay everywhere. It's the silent thief of stopping cues. Batch notifications so dopamine can't peck you all day. On mobile, hide badges and move high-stim apps off the home screen into a folder labeled intentional. Creators and small teams need an extra layer. Shoot and draft inside tools that don't show graphs. Schedule posts in one block. Review analytics twice a week, 15 minutes each, and capture one experiment per review. If a platform forces metrics in your face, use extensions to hide public counts and dashboard cards outside your analytics windows. Tie success to behavior you control, publishes, replies with substance, leads captured, so the mood doesn't ride the graph. A micro story from a team sprint. 5 people, 3 time zones, constant pings. We moved chat to desktop only, set Watchtower Windows 3 times daily and banned badges on phones. Entertainment moved to the living room TV, no short form on mobile. 2 weeks later, the team reported calmer mornings and shipped a feature early. Nothing magical, just fewer variable rewards and restored stopping cues. Here's a fast audit you can run across apps. Ask 4 questions. Does this remove stopping points? Does it add uncertainty to rewards or feedback? Does it attach timers to social actions? Does it turn my identity into a score? If the answer is yes, add friction or move it to a device where usage is naturally bounded. If the answer is no, and it helps you do what you value, promote it with shortcuts and notifications. The pattern is the same everywhere. Variable rewards, missing endings, social timers, and status mirrors raise minutes. Your counter is consistent too. Reintroduce friction, restore endings, mute timers, separate making from measuring, and schedule novelty on your terms. When you install those once, the gains compound quietly. And with the architecture in place, the hidden costs shrink, so you actually feel the benefits in your mood, your work, and your relationships. The hidden costs: cognitive, emotional, and social. Let's talk price. The loop looks free, but it taxes 3 systems you rely on every day: cognition, mood, and relationships. If you can spot the costs fast, you can fix them fast. Start with cognition. Every glance leaves a tension residue, a little fragment of the last thing riding shotgun into the next thing. Open a DM, hop to a doc, peek a headline, back to the doc. Now a slice of your working memory is sorting the message while you're trying to think. That's why quick checks make the first 10 minutes of deep work feel foggy. Switch costs aren't imaginary. Your prefrontal cortex has to reload context each time, and that reload is slow compared to a swipe. Fragmented deep work is the second hit. Complex tasks need uninterrupted runway to build mental models, hold variables, and test ideas. Feeds train your brain to expect interruption, so it refuses to commit. Even silent badges yank your mind sideways because uncertainty is loud. After enough chops, you'll notice rereading the same sentence, forgetting a step you just planned, or hunting for the tab you swear was open. That's not a character flaw, it's a system saturating your RAM. Third, working memory gets taxed by rapid context shifts. Short form and group chats scatter cues across time. You start stacking half decisions. Reply later, save for after lunch, check that video tonight. Now your system is 47 unread flags and a brain that won't let them go. You wanted speed, you got clutter. Emotionally, overstimulation raises volatility. Novelty spikes and social metrics goose your reward system. When they drop, baseline dips. That's the good during, hollow after pattern. Over time, boredom tolerance shrinks. Quiet feels itchy, so you fill it with more input, which shrinks tolerance further. Add micro comparisons and you get envy in tiny doses, not a dramatic jealousy, just a steady tilt toward behind. Mood drifts lower and the craving for quick hits climbs. Sleep pays too. Open loops and late-night novelty keep your mind lit when your body wants dark. Even if you crash, lighter sleep or midnight checks fragment recovery. Next day, self-control drops, cravings rise, and the loop wins more often. You're not weak, you're underrested and overstimulated. There's also stimulus hangover. After long sessions, regular life feels flat. Food tastes duller, music's meh, tasks are heavier. That's mild anhedonia, pleasure down, effort up for a while. people call it laziness. It's really neurochemistry recalibrating after spikes. Socially, the costs hide under busyness. Many touches, few ties. Group chats, story replies, and streaks create the feeling of connection, but you don't build trust on highlights. You stay updated while drifting out of sync on real plans, favors, and hard conversations. Performative living creeps in. You choose what photographs well, not what restores you. That's how a walk becomes content instead of recovery. The thing most people miss is opportunity cost. Grazing steals the blocks learning needs to stick and relationships need to deepen. Skills compound, so do friendships, so does distraction. Reclaim 2 hours a day for 30 days and you can actually finish a course, ship a side project, or call someone every afternoon. Same hours, different allocation, different life. Let me give you fast diagnostics you can run this week. Cognitive, count context switches from breakfast to lunch, every app or task change. If you're over 15 by 11 a.m., your day is pre-fragmented. Emotional, rate mood before and after a 20-minute scroll, 1 to 10. If after is lower more than half the time, you're paying a dopamine tax. Social, after a day full of messaging, ask, did I make one plan or deepen one relationship? If not, you did social admin, not social life. Common mistakes when fixing this. 1. Aiming for purity, no phone ever. You'll rebound. 2. Mixing tasks and entertainment in the same session. That guarantees residue. 3. Using willpower alone. At 9 p.m., design beats discipline. 4. Ignoring sleep. If you're tired, every lever works better on you. Now quick wins that pay immediately. Anchor 2 90-minute focus blocks with notifications off, badges hidden, and one clear outcome each. Put the charger outside the bedroom and set a device curfew. Move high-stim apps to desktop with blockers during work hours. Replace late-night novelty with low-stim rituals. 10 pages of a physical book, stretching, a short walk, dimmer lights. End daily with a 3-line journal. What I closed, what I parked, what I'll start tomorrow. That gives your brain visible closure, so it stops cycling. Why these moves work? They reduce cognitive load, lower emotional volatility, and switch shallow touches for real ties. You'll feel quieter between tasks, steadier after sessions, and richer in conversations. And when the loop tugs anyway, you'll have friction, boundaries, and closure to meet it. Counter tactic 1. Friction as a feature. Diagnosis is useful, but winning means changing the physics. The fastest way to beat compulsive loops is to slow them down on purpose. Friction isn't punishment, it's a speed bump that gives your prefrontal cortex time to re-enter the chat. Add tiny steps before your triggers and you'll feel the urge soften. Remove tiny steps before your best habits and you'll actually do them. Why this works is simple. In reward-seeking mode, the wanting system is faster than reason. A 2-second delay, a prompt, or a context switch can interrupt the autorun and hand control back to intention. You're not locking yourself out. You're changing the tempo so your values can catch up. Start with a 2-layer wall for your top 3 times syncs. Layer 1 is visual and spatial. Strip them from your home screen. No icons, no badges, no muscle memory. Park them in a folder on the last page labeled Later. Hiding badges matters, unread dots are tiny sirens. When your eyes don't catch red numerals, urges fire less. Layer 2 is functional. Require Face ID or a passcode on open and log out by default for the worst offender. That extra beat is a micro pause where you can choose. Add system limits with an intention gate. When the limit hits, a custom prompt asks, connect, create, or drift. If you pick drift twice, the app closes. You're not shaming yourself, you're forcing clarity. Now block at the source. On desktop, use a site blocker with an allow list for work hours, docs, research, calendar, and one long-form source. Everything else is dark. On mobile, set focus modes tied to time. Deep work, strict allow list, no badges. Errands, maps, payments. Social hour, messaging only. And sleep alarms only. Automate them. Willpower fluctuates, schedules don't. Route temptation through weaker interfaces. Delete or offload the stickiest apps and use their web versions only. Most web UIs strip haptics, pull to refresh, and the glossy hooks that keep you pressing. For articles, switch to reader view, no sidebars, or you might also like carousels. You'll read and leave. Autoplay is a silent thief of endings, kill it everywhere. Disable up next, autoplay on home, and autoplay on mobile data. Endings are your escape ramps, protect them. Pair that with grayscale after a set hour. Color amplifies reward salience, gray lowers it. At night, let the phone be boring by design so your brain can idle. Move the charger out of the bedroom. If the phone wakes you, the feed frames your morning with what you missed. An analog alarm returns your first minutes to you. Combine with a device dock in the kitchen or hallway. Physical distance beats good intentions at 11 p.m. Here's a 5-minute setup sprint that pays all week. Move all entertainment and social apps into later on the last screen. Hide badges globally. Delete the worst offender. Access via browser with no saved login. Create 2 focus modes. Deep work, allow list only, and evening music, reading family. Disable autoplay on every platform. Enable grayscale after 8 p.m. Set screen time limits with an intention prompt and a passcode you don't know. Don't over-engineer. Complex systems fail on tired days. Your rules should be dumb simple, allowed blocked on off here not here. And don't leave a single fun exception on the home screen that becomes the new trapdoor. If you want treats, rotate them intentionally, not by loophole. You might need certain apps for work. Split creation from consumption. Put creation tools on the dock and bury consumption. Better yet, separate devices or profiles. Make a profile with no feeds. Manage a profile with comms only during Windows. The distance on your screen becomes distance in your mind. Close loops with transition rituals. When a limit triggers, don't smash, extend. Take 3 long exhales, stand up, and name your next action out loud. Tiny, but it snaps state. Set a visible timer, 25 minutes on, 5 off for the next task. The timer becomes a forward pull that beats backward drag. Microstory, a marketer lived in analytics all day. We moved dashboards to desktop only, set 2 15-minute analytics windows, blocked them outside those times, and killed mobile badges. In 2 weeks, mid-task peaks dropped 70%, proposals finished faster, and the itch faded after lunch. Same workload, fewer leaks. Build a friction ladder for late-night drift. Step 1, grayscale after 8 p.m. Step 2, block short-form and news after 9 p.m. Step 3, devices docked outside the bedroom by 10 p.m. If you break the rule, the repair is simple. Next night, dock 30 minutes earlier. Light consequence, fast recovery. A quick diagnostic. If you can open a high-stim app with 1 thumb from muscle memory, your friction is too low. If you can start your most valuable task in under 10 seconds, your friction is just right there. Aim for the reverse, high friction on drift, 0 friction on depth. Common mistakes to avoid: relying on vows instead of gates, mixing entertainment with tasks in the same browser profile, letting notifications through just in case, and changing 10 things at once so you can't see what worked. Change 3 levers, observe for a week, then iterate. 1 more high leverage move, 1 device entertainment. Put short-form streaming and games on a TV or tablet in a shared space only. Why it works: physical friction, social context, and natural endings. You'll still watch, you'll just choose it. Remember, design is destiny. Add steps where you spiral. Remove steps where you thrive. Friction buys space, space lets values speak. With the loop slowed, we'll use that space next to retrain attention so deep work becomes your new default. Counter tactic 2, deliberate attention training. Friction buys you space, now we'll strengthen what fills it. Attention isn't a personality trait, it's a trainable system. Think endurance, not heroics. The apps train quick hits and constant scanning, so we'll counter-train longer arcs, calmer baseline, and faster ramp into flow. The payoff is concrete. You'll ship work sooner and feel less frazzled doing it. Start with stimulus fasting, not monk mode, just one quiet window daily. Begin at 20 minutes with every input off. No phone, no music, no tabs. Sit with a single low-stakes task like tidying a drawer or outlining a paragraph. Expect restlessness. Label it later and return. Add 5 minutes per day until you hit 60. You're lowering the nervous system's noise floor so subtle focus signals become audible again. Now build single task reps. Pick a task you can complete in one sitting. Write 150 words, solve 3 problems, refactor 1 function. Set a visible 10-minute timer. When the itch to check hits, say later and keep going. That return is the rep. Do 3 sets with 2-minute off-screen breaks. Tomorrow, bump to 12 minutes. Progressive overload grows capacity the way the gym does. Once those feel steady, shift to 25-5 tempos. 4 cycles make a strong block. Guard it with a ritual so your brain anticipates depth. Pick one outcome, clear your desk, close everything, breathe 4 in and 6 out for 60 seconds, start the timer. Rituals shrink ramp time because they cue safety and predictability. When 25 feels short, move to 50-10. Eventually, aim for one 90-minute deep session daily. 90 minutes maps well to your ultradian rhythm, long enough to build a model in your head, short enough to sustain. Replace novelty instead of white-knuckling it. Schedule 2 10-15-minute curiosity windows per day and draw from a saved list you control. 1 article, 1 tutorial, 1 idea to sketch. No feeds. You're still feeding new, but on your terms. If you crave micro wins, use skill sprints, 60-second sketches, 10-rep language drills, 4-bar music riffs. Novelty plus completion beats novelty plus drift. Design your loop ahead of time. Trigger, routine, reward. Trigger, same seat, same mug, same silence or instrumental. Routine, timer on 1 window, exact outcome on a sticky note, draft intro paragraph. Reward, a short walk, coffee, or a message to a friend. Your brain learns focus reliably leads to something pleasant, so craving shifts toward the block instead of the scroll. Breathing is the overlooked accelerator. Start every block with nasal 4 in, 6 out for 1 minute. Longer exhales tell your nervous system you're safe, which quiets the scan for pings. If restlessness spikes mid-block, do 3 rounds and continue. You're not wasting time, you're stabilizing attention. Batch communication to protect depth. Create watchtower windows, say 11:30 and 4:30 for messages, comments, and email. Use the same focus ritual for these, then run a closure step. Reply, schedule, archive, or unsubscribe. Don't leave half-done replies open. That prevents open loops from bleeding into your next block. If your job demands responsiveness, formalize it. For part of the day, you're in watchtower mode, 30 minutes on comms, 60 minutes off. Set a status, deep work 9/11, replies after. Whitelist true emergencies and let everything else ride the schedule. People respect clarity more than vague availability. 7-day ramp to feel the shift fast. Days 1-2, 2 25-5 cycles in the morning, 1 20-minute stimulus fast later, 1 10-minute curiosity window. Days 3-4, add a third 25-5, extend the fast to 40 minutes, add a 10-minute silent walk. Days 5-6, 1 50-10 block in the morning, 1 25-5 after lunch, a 60-minute fast, 2 curiosity windows. Day 7, 1 90-minute deep session on your highest value task, plus the walk and 1 curiosity window. Track with simple boxes, morning block, fast, curiosity windows, walk, no minute counting beyond the plan. Consistency beats intensity. If you miss, repeat your last successful day. Progress is rarely linear, you're teaching your brain new defaults. Calibrate the ratios. If 25 feels too short to sink in, try 35-7. If 90 is a wall, drop to 70. Keep roughly 5, 1 for short sets and 9, 1 for longer. Always end with a visible win. Write done, X on your sticky. That micro closure gives your brain a clean edge, which reduces Zygarnic tension and protects your next block. Common mistakes to avoid. Hero days after months of fragments, you'll rebound. Hiding micro switches inside the block. Just a quick reference becomes 3 tabs. Judging intrusive thoughts. The rep is returning, not never wandering, and stacking study with me streams as a crutch. Those carry novelty ripples that keep you skimming. Also, don't soundtrack writing with lyrics. Language tasks need your verbal channel. Design a rescue for rough days. Minimum viable structure. 1 25-5, 1 20-minute fast, 1 curiosity window, and phones docked during the block. Hit those 4, call it a win, and stop negotiating. Momentum returns because identity stayed intact. I'm a person who protects 1 deep block. A quick micro story. A product lead bouncing between Slack, dashboards and short clips reclaimed mornings by running 2 25-5s with a coffee reward and shifting all comms to 11:30 and 4:30. They added a 15-minute curiosity walk. In 2 weeks, shallow checks halved and their spec quality improved. Same workload, different tempo. Why this sticks? You're giving your brain reliable cycles of effort and relief, novelty and stillness, so it stops searching for random hits. Within a week, you'll feel less twitchy between tasks, ramp into flow faster, and finish with more gas in the tank. If you remember nothing else, attention grows where you train it. Build small, repeatable reps, protect 1 daily deep block, and feed curiosity on your schedule, not the feed. Counter tactic 3, identity shift from user to architect. Friction buys space and training builds strength, but identity is the lock. Habits follow identity, and identity follows the story you tell yourself. If your story is "I'm a user trying not to get sucked in," you'll fight every day. If your story is "I'm the architect of my attention," you'll design once and benefit for months. Let's make that shift practical without turning your life into a spreadsheet. Start with a 1-page attention charter. Keep it simple. Section 1, values. Name 3 you want your attention to serve, like health, mastery, and relationships. Section 2, rules, binary behaviors that enforce those values. No phone in the bedroom, 2 comms windows on weekdays, entertainment only on TV or desktop. Analytics Tuesday and Friday at 4:30. Section 3, exceptions, travel, illness, emergencies. Section 4, repairs, light consequences if you break a rule, like a small donation to a cause you don't support or an extra chore. The point isn't shame, it's visibility, so you stop negotiating with a slippery, late-night version of yourself. Now schedule your values. If it's not on the calendar, it's not real. Block 1 90-minute deep session daily with a clear outcome in the title, draft intro, review PRs, outline chapter. Add a 10-minute daily social reach out, voice note, call, or plan, so your relationships grow by design, not by feed. Book a weekly learning sprint and a weekly unplugged block. Name them with verbs. Your calendar becomes a mirror for who you're becoming, not just what arrives in your inbox. Public commitments double compliance. Tell 1 person your charter headline and top 3 rules. Ask for a weekly check-in for a month. Screenshot your tiny scorecard with boxes for deep block, comms windows, and no phone in bedroom. No commentary, just data. If you lead a team or a family, make norms explicit. Meeting free deep blocks 9/11, no phones at dinner, Slack quiet hours after 6. When the environment shares your identity, you don't have to be a hero to live it. Design spaces that cue the right role. A writing corner with an analog timer and no notifications. A device dock by the door so phones land there after 9 p.m. A living room where entertainment lives, not your bed. Separate creation and consumption on devices or profiles. Make a profile with creation tools and no feeds. Manage a profile with comms and dashboards inside windows only. Physical distance on screens becomes psychological distance in your mind. Creators and entrepreneurs need a maker-manager split. Makers need long, quiet arcs. Managers live in threads and dashboards. Schedule maker mornings and manager afternoons or alternate days. Keep analytics in manager time only. If you measure while you make, the graph becomes your boss and your identity rides the line. Instead, create a 2-sentence charter. I make X for Y because Z my success metric is Q. Make Q behavior you control. Publish cadence, thoughtful replies, emails collected. So you're anchored to craft, not volatility. Here's a micro story. A founder kept saying, I need more discipline. We reframed, you're the architect. They wrote a 2-line charter, I build calmly. My measures are 2 deep blocks and 1 relationship move daily. They put DB1, DB2, R1 on a sticky note. Every day they check 3 boxes. In 6 weeks, fundraising materials shipped, recruiting progressed, and stress dropped, even though the inbox didn't. Discipline was the byproduct of identity plus design. Common mistakes to avoid. Don't write a manifesto you'll never read, keep the charter tight. Don't make consequences harsh, they should nudge, not derail. Don't chase perfect streaks, protect non-negotiables on bad days and call it a win. Don't go solo, quiet commitments fade. And don't confuse being available with being dependable. Clear windows and emergency bypasses beat constant partial attention. Run a 5-minute identity audit today. Write 1 sentence on your lock screen, I'm the architect of my attention. List 3 non-negotiables. No phone in bedroom, deep block 9, 10, 30, comms windows 11, 30 and 4:30. Put them on the calendar this week. Create 1 device-free zone at home. Move analytics to desktop only and hide real-time counters. Rename your social folder Intentional Social. When you tap it, ask, connect, create, or compare. Close on compare. Build a relapse reset so slips don't snowball. If you spiral, run a 24-hour reset. Reinstall blockers, re-enable focus modes, dock your phone outside the bedroom, and protect 1 morning deep block the next day. Identity survives because your smallest rules still fire. Why this works: narrative changes what feels normal. When you're the architect, peeking at analytics outside the window feels off. Skipping the deep block feels like breaking character. You'll still have messy days, but the system catches you. And as these behaviors repeat, the story hardens. You're the kind of person who protects attention and builds on purpose. Rules solve today, identity solves tomorrow. Design once, live lighter for months. Your anti-scroll system, a 30-day field manual. We're turning everything you've learned into a simple 4-week system. Each week has 1 theme, a few high-leverage moves, and clear checkpoints. You'll install friction, train attention, rewire social inputs, then lock it in with identity. No perfection needed, consistency wins. Week 1 is audit and friction. Day 1, get baseline data. Open screen time or digital well-being and write down 4 numbers. Total hours, top 3 apps, average pickups, and first opened app each morning. No judgment, just a snapshot. Next, triage your app pantry. Keep utilities, camera, maps, notes, calendar, authenticator, messaging. Conditional keepers, 1 long-form video app, 1 news source you trust. Everything ultra-processed, short-form feeds, games with loot boxes, endless shopping, either delete or re-access via browser only. Now build your 2-layer wall. Visual spatial first. Move social and entertainment into a folder labeled later on your last screen and hide all badges system-wide. Functional second. Log out of the worst offender and require Face ID on open. Set app limits with an intention gate that forces you to choose, connect, create, or drift. Allow one more per day. Kill autoplay everywhere. Endings are your exits. Turn on grayscale after 8 p.m. Route sticky apps through the web where haptics and pull to refresh are weaker. Set up focus modes tied to time. Deep work strict allow list. Errands, payments, maps. Social hour messaging only. Sleep alarms only. Move your charger out of the bedroom and use an analog alarm. End the week by rechecking screen time. Aim for a 10-20% drop. That's momentum, not martyrdom. Week 2 is attention training. Keep the friction, now grow capacity. Each weekday, run a morning block of 225-5 cycles on your highest value task. Ritualize it, pick 1 concrete outcome, clear your desk, set a visible timer, breathe 4 in, 6 out for 60 seconds, then start. After lunch, add a stimulus fast, 40-60 minutes with no phone, no tabs, no music. If that's heavy, start at 20 minutes and add 5 daily. Schedule 2 curiosity windows, 10-15 minutes each, from a saved list you control: articles, tutorials, albums, not feeds. Add one 10-minute walk without audio. On day 4, upgrade one block to 50-10. On day 6, test a single 90-minute deep session. Track boxes, not minutes. Morning block, fast, 2 curiosity windows, walk. Your checkpoint is 1 real win per day, paragraph drafted, bug fixed, call made. Week 3 is social rewire. Strip social timers and curate inputs. Hide like counts where the platform allows for your posts and in your feed. Turn off read receipts and active now. Mute or unfollow envy triggers and rage bait. Follow process forward accounts that share how, not just highlights. Set 2 or 3 messaging windows, say 11:30, 4:30, and 7 if needed. Outside those, badges and previews stay off. Move comms to desktop during work hours. End each window with a closure ritual. Reply, schedule, archive, unsubscribe, mute. Don't leave half-done replies open. If you post, adopt a no peek for 60 minutes rule and limit analytics to Tuesday and Friday at 4:30 p.m., 15 minutes each. Your checkpoint: fewer phantom checks and 1 meaningful connection or plan per day. A voice note, a date on the calendar, or actual help offered. Week 4 is identity cement. Write a 1-page attention charter. 3 values: health, mastery, relationships. 5 binary rules: no phone in bedroom, 2 communication windows on weekdays, entertainment only on TV or desktop, analytics Tuesday, Friday, 1 daily 90-minute deep block. Add exceptions: travel, illness, emergencies, and light repairs if you break a rule, like a small donation you won't enjoy or an extra chore. Calendar your values: deep blocks named with outcomes, a 10-minute daily reach out, a weekly learning sprint, and a weekly unplugged block. Share your top 3 rules with one person and ask for a weekly check-in. Design spaces that echo your identity: a device-free table, a visible analog timer, a dock by the door for phones after 9 p.m., and separated profiles. Maker tools without feeds, manager tools with comms inside windows. Put a lock screen note: architect, user. DB1, DB2, R1. Those micro cues carry you on tired days. Your weekly review is light. Sunday night, check 3 things: hours reclaimed, 1 win per day logged, and 1 tweak for next week. Rotate 1 experiment, lengthen a block, move a comms window, swap a novelty source. Keep what works, drop what doesn't. Systems beat motivation. Build failsafes. If you spiral, run a 24-hour reset. Reinstall blockers, re-enable focus modes, dock your phone outside the bedroom, and protect 1 morning deep block tomorrow. If slips repeat, shrink to the minimum viable system. 1:25:5, 1 20-minute stimulus fast, charger outside bedroom, and no feeds after 9 p.m. streak. Start small, then harden. By day 30, you should feel fewer twitchy checks, faster ramp into flow, steadier mood, and social inputs that actually move your life forward. Same apps, new architecture. You didn't win with willpower, you won with design. Advanced defenses, environments, teams, and workflows. Scale your wins with architecture. At home, device-free table, TV-only entertainment, router schedules, and a drop zone for phones after 9 p.m. on devices. Separate profiles, maker no feeds, and manager comms in windows. Strict allow lists per focus mode, autoplay off everywhere. For teams, meeting-free deep blocks, async-first updates, shared watchtower windows, explicit quiet hours, and regret afterglow checks in retros. Workflows: batch create offline, batch publish, review analytics twice weekly, 1 experiment per cycle, log closed loops daily. Add automation, mode toggling shortcuts, calendar-triggered focus, and app blockers by context. Systems beat motivation, especially on tired days. Your attention isn't weak, it's engineered against, so design friction, train focus, and anchor identity to protect your best hours. If this helped, run the 7-day starter, then the 30-day field manual. Comment your biggest trigger and the 1 friction wall you'll install tonight. Subscribe for the follow-up, where we build these systems live.